Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to the channel, and the channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. And yes, I've got another pen review for you. You know, Ranga has been one of those companies from India that I've been a loyal customer of theirs. I either buy the pens three ways. I either go on their site and buy it. Sometimes, and once you get going and you give them your email, they'll send you these group buys by email that you can have, several times a year. Or the third way is through Patent Street. Patent Street pens sometimes has pens that are not even on the site of Ranga, and I don't believe he has these premium acrylics on his site, but I could be wrong. So take a look at Ranga on Patent Street, because they may have different varieties and different models, etc. But those are your three sources. So there you have it. So without any further ado, what do I think about this pen? You know, spoilers alert, you know I'm going to like it, but I'll explain to you why. So stay tuned for Ranga 4Nc in premium resin. Okay, so we're back with the pen. Very nice size. I've got to tell you, we'll do a size comparison in just a few seconds, but the pen is kind of increases in size as it goes towards the middle from both ends, but it is a little more tapered at the end here. It's got nice finial, nice and smooth. Both finial pointed, just a slight rounded point. Very nicely polished, I got to tell you. And the sections here, the barrel and the cap, marry perfectly. There's really I can't hardly feel it, so the integration is almost perfect. That resin is very interesting, as you could see, as these modern resins are. Very unique, of course, depending on how you pour that resin. You'll have different colors, so every pen will be unique, so to speak. And the colors vary from dark red, pink, white, blues. Very nice. Kind of an aquatic motif, I would say. Very nice. Yeah. Now, let me just take that as the indication. We'll see how many turns. 1. Almost less than 1 turn. To reveal that's the way it looks inside. Now, this is sharp, very sharp, but because that section is so long, in my view, it does not at all interfere with the writing experience. You can hardly even touch the threads, and the threads are fairly smooth. The section is long, and it tapers, flares up. Very comfortable. The pen is big enough to write with unposted. Very light. Not too light, though, because it is premium resin. Very nice. It does post. I mean, when you post it, it doesn't become back heavy, I would say. It becomes a little bit ridiculously long. And when I post my pens, I have a tendency to grab the pen further up. And you know what? Even that sharp edge there doesn't really interfere. So there you have it. So if you want to post, it's fine because the pen is light enough. And it reveals this nib. The nib is a Yowo nib, but what's interesting is they now are offering grinds. So I had this nib ground to a cursive italic. It's a medium Yowo, number 6 steel, cursive italic grind. A typical feed. So I've tested it before. I like that grind. I really do. Now, let's look at the interior of this cap just to see if we see anything mysterious. I doubt it because the way this pen is built, there is a little bit of a step down there, so I think that this pen should not have any drying issues in my view. So there you have that. And of course you could see the thickness of the resin. So this is not cheap resin. It is premium resin. Very well done. Very well done. Typical Ranga fashion, if you will. There you have it. I think that does the design and features. We'll do some comparisons, then measurements, and then the writing sample. Okay, so we're back with the comparison. Lots of eye candy here, I say. I've got all of Ranga pens here, starting from the bottom here, just crushed ice. That's a Davenport model. The next one is a Model 3. This is a Grand Abimanyu. This is a Model 4C. That's the shorter Monterey. And then the subject pen, which is the 4Nc. So you can see that the 4Nc is as long as the 4C, longer than the rest, at least capped. There you have it. In terms of girth, fairly girthy at the center here. I'd say girthier than all the rest except the Grand Abimanyu. So those are the pens capped. Here are the pens uncapped and unposted. And as you can see, the 4Nc is essentially as long as the 4C and even the Grand Abimanyu. Grand Abimanyu just a few millimeters there bigger, but so it's a nice size, nice length, nice girth. There you have the pens unposted and uncapped. Here are the pens posted. This is the worst poster. It doesn't post very well, and I would say that the Monterey is the best because it's got a screwing mechanism right here. It's got some threads. But as you can see, when you post them, I would say that your subject pen 4Nc is the longest one of them all, and that's why I say it's a little bit clumsy posted, but doable because it's light. So there you have the pens unposted, posted. We'll do some measurements and then the writing sample. Okay, so we're back for the writing sample. First of all, the ink. I chose an ink that doesn't really match. It's this Yamabudo from Iro Shizuku. I just, have few occasions to use this ink, and I thought I'd ink it up with that. I know could have gone with my light blue, but I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of variety. I think it's going to be nice. So there you have it. I've chosen the Yamabudo for this pen. In terms of the paper, I'm going to change it up as well. We're going to go with this Fabriano paper, Italian paper, nice notebook, and we'll change it up. Some people are saying, you're always using Tomoe River. Let's change it up and see what happens here. Okay, there we go. So this is the Ranga 4Nc premium resin. I specify that because Ranga has, acrylics, premium acrylics, ebonite, premium ebonite, so we know. In terms of the nib, it is a number 6 steel Yowo medium, but it's got a cursive italic grind. The ink is Pilot Iro Shizuku Yama Budo. Paper is Fabriano. I should use this paper a little more often. Very reliable. I don't like this dot grid because I have a tendency not to follow the grid. Maybe I should get lined or just a square grid. I don't know if they offer it though, but I'm going to check that out. So paper Fabriano. Now this nib is, it's a typical Yowo nib, but I really do like the cursive italic. It gives you a little bit of line variation. As you can see, very wet. Very smooth. Even with that italic, it has, just an italic feedback, which makes it more fun, I would say to you. In terms of consistency, very constant. So the grind is a success. Sometimes when you get these italic, they have a tendency to be a little bit scratchy and it would catch the paper. And this paper is a less coated. It's got a little bit of, texture. So if this nib had been scratchy, it would have, I think, just start tearing the paper, if you will. In terms of reverse writing, I sense a little bit of resistance, but doable, and you get an extra fine line. There you have it. So I think we've covered all bases there. Very nice. So let's take a look at likes and dislikes. Well, I like the design and the build quality of this pen. First of all, no complaints there. I like the nib grind, and I like that variety because, as I've mentioned several times on this channel, I'm getting fed up by Yowo and Bock. Okay, I like the nib grind. I like the value. These are, excellent pens. The nib grind does cost a little more, but I think it's worth it if you want to give yourself some variety, if you will. I like the comfort level of this pen. Very, very comfortable. Dislike, some people would say the posting is a little too long. So that could be a deal breaker for some people. No roll stop because there's no clip. But that's what gives this pen the character, is that it doesn't have the clip. But you could order the roll stop, so I don't know if it's a dislike for everybody concerned. So there you have it. I think this is another very nice pen from Ranga. So there you have it. That's my review of the Ranga 4Nc in this premium resin. Very nice. There are a lot more choices. I figured I'd go with a flyer model, as they say in French. A little bit over the top, but you can get something a little more subdued. They've got some nice brown, peach colored resins. Very nice. And you can have some that are matte or with this polished finish. So you've got some variety there. You've got some variety in terms of nibs. Ranga product. Never let me down so far. There you have it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. It'll help. As Hemingway Jones says, it'll help keep the lights on. And I noticed these lights are always on. So there you have it. Thank you very, very much for joining me, folks. Have a great day. Have a great week. Enjoy your pens. Ciao.